We hear this phrase nowadays like power couples. And sometimes that stuff comes with like pressure, sometimes it doesn't, right? Depending on like how seasoned the couple is, right? But we see a lot of times, I mean, we all have success and failures. Core values and principles was a foundation. Building friendship, I think that's something that's really important. Foundations of building with your significant other, Armando.
Yeah.
You know, I did start making good money by the age of 25. But by 24, I was started making like 6 figures. This is like, what, 27 years ago. 6 figures was pretty big money.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back. Educate and Elevate. Educate and Elevate. We're kicking off Armando with a brand new month, bro. The month of February.
I feel good.
All, love is in the air, bro.
I feel it, bro. I feel it.
Yeah. You in love yet, bro?
Yeah, I'm in love, bro. I'm in love with you, man. I'm in love with the grind. I'm in love with Angel, the work
That's
we're
right.
doing. So,
That's right.
And with God. So
hey, well, January was a great month. I hope you guys took a lot of value. Obviously, planning is something that's super big. So the event was great last Thursday, and
it was awesome.
Kicking off the month of February. The month of February is all about couples and business. And today I have some of the people I'm really excited to get into this episode, Armando, because this, like, when I got started on like my personal development journey, you know, we talked about mentorship, right, with several of our guests in January. Mentorship was something that's big, and Christian and Jeanette have really been those people that I could kind of like look at and be like, dang, like they've really set the example when it comes to like couples in business. I think they've set an amazing example, and we have the pleasure of having them in studio today. So Christian, Jeanette Fuentes from Remax Top Producers.
Let's go. Drum roll.
welcome to the Educate and Elevate podcast, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank
you for
that.
To be
Nice.
Yes, I'm super excited. You know, I'm sure there's always a story with like, it's very rare to find couples thriving in business, you know, and I think that that's something like everyone, like we hear this phrase nowadays, like power couples, right? And sometimes that stuff comes with like pressure, sometimes it doesn't, right? Depending on like how seasoned the couple is, right? But we see a lot of times, and I mean, we all have success and failures, you know? But what we really want to get into in these 4 segments this week is like the love that you guys have, yeah, of course, for each other, but like it wasn't always like that, I'm sure. Like I'm sure there's been struggles and coming together. Like how is it working with your husband and with your wife? And it's dope because we get to see both perspectives.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for coming.
Mine's better than
The
his.
bad and the ugly, right?
The good, bad, and the ugly, right? So let's get into it. Yeah. So what was like? How did this start?
Well, you know, I'll start up. So we've been married for 15 years now. This was our 15th year. We met back in 2006, I believe, right before the crash, right, the real estate crash. And it was funny because I was working at a team out of the different area. Next thing you know, I moved to Chino Hills at our office, and then this girl happened to have a restaurant with her mom.
Which is, by the way, a block away from here. It's on
Right.
Stater
What's it
Brothers
called?
right here.
Really?
Oh, right here.
Yes,
It-
right
it-
there.
it's
We can
still
see
there?
from the window.
No.
Oh, okay.
They
We'll get into
switched
it.
businesses.
So
Yeah.
they sold it, right? But it was called Crazy Coyote, Mexican food or Mexican grill, right? So I started working at a new office right here in Chino Hills, and then she's got a restaurant 2 doors down. And back then I was fat. I was almost 200 pounds. Yes.
He was chubby.
I was chubby.
Come on.
But you know,
What's the difference?
He's a little dramatic.
I mean, but look,
He was chubby.
I mean, think about it. It's like 40 pounds heavier than I am now. I was like a size 38 pants. I mean, I was heavy, right?
Right.
And then sure enough, I would go eat there, and the food was really good, and she was there working with her mom, and I was like, man, who's this hot girl, right? But never thought nothing was gonna happen. You know, back then I wore glasses. I was in my 20s,
Yeah, you were
29,
like
I think I was 29.
28.
I was wild. You know, I was
Define wild, bro, because
Yeah,
wild
bro.
can mean a lot of different
Come
things.
on,
We
and
want
show-
guys, we want the juice.
Chubby guy with glasses? You need
Like-
to define
like-
your
like-
wildness.
like I was wild, dude. Like you guys wouldn't even know how wild I was. Like I don't think you guys see the level. Seen that level.
Oh, now he's all
that's a
pumped up.
challenge.
I don't know, bro.
shoot.
I don't know, man. I've been to Miami with Armando. Let me just tell you, I've seen wild, bro.
I don't know, bro. Reggaeton all the
I
time.
mean, didn't you do the go-go dancing at the clubs and
What?
Oh.
Oh, you want to go there?
a little bit of something?
No, you know what? I grew up. I think back when I was like 19, 20, I got into the club scene. Right back then, it was like all the '90s stuff, right? Like the raves. I was a rebel. You know, the rebel. I wore the boots, the tank tops. I was always ripped, right? I had a 6-pack. I was working out.
You had the
So-
ring and the tongue, right?
I had
that?
everything pierced, dude. I had
everything.
pierced,
I didn't
pierced,
meet him
pierced
that way, by the
nipples,
way.
I can.
pierced.
Are you
tongue.
kidding? Or are you?
No,
No,
serious.
he's being serious.
It's
Wow,
a chick
okay.
magnet.
Yeah.
Is that considered a punk, or what were you considered?
No, I was a rebel.
Oh, a rebel.
Come on.
The beast. He's just
All right.
a beast.
Oh man.
Drop the fire.
Back in those days, if you called me a punk, I would punk you.
Oh,
No, so I was a rebel guy, and I just got into the club scene. You know, big club scene. So from like literally from like 19-year-old. I mean, I was going to the arena. I used to go dance at the arena. If anybody
Told you
remembers the
guys.
arena, the Dome, Hollywood scene. I mean, I was just partying, right? And then got into a lot of alcohol and partying, and so all through my 20s, I did a lot of self-destructing, right? I said that before because I was just partying, drinking. You know, I did get into real estate at 21, so which was kind of funny because I was selling shoes. I was a manager or assistant manager at a shoe store. And then I got into real estate. That's another story. But, I did start making good money by the age of 25, right? No, by 24, I was starting making like 6 figures. And sure enough, all my money, this is like, 27 years ago. 6 figures was pretty big money back then, right?
I mean, now we have inflation, but back then was a lot of money.
Yeah.
$100,000 27 years ago is probably like, I don't know, 400 right now.
And for someone that's single and
20.
Yeah.
Single,
Yeah.
partying, I'm wasting money like crazy. So I did a lot of that at that time, and by the time I met this girl, I was chubby.
Now, were you done with that phase already, or were you kind of like?
No, I was still
you were
on it.
still in it.
He was
Fine.
still
You were still like.
Now,
into that phase.
Now I shared this
Yeah.
before. At 25, I got into drugs, and then I was basically doing drugs till about 30 years old when I met her. When I met her, I was still doing some drugs. She didn't know about it.
No clue.
No clue. And I was an addict. I was you can say a functioning addict. Well, not so much because I would not do drugs, and it was cocaine. I would not do it during work time. I was just doing it at night, right? And then I wake up in the morning, go to work, and it was done, right? I wouldn't go. There's people that do it while they're working and while they're functioning, but I was more like doing it on the party scene, so I never did it that way. But at some point, when I met her, honestly, I always say she was my angel because I changed my ways. Wow. I changed my ways. If anything, because of her, one day I just said, I can't be doing this anymore, and I'm done. I'm done. If I don't stop doing this, I'm going to lose her. I knew that was going to happen. So it was one of those things that from one day to the other, I just went sober and never did it again. And I've been sober for, 16 years maybe already. And
wow,
we went back.
That's
right?
awesome.
congratulations
That's
to you on that. Now,
Yeah.
we want to know from a female's perspective, right? Like attractiveness, right? He's doing drugs, right? Yeah, making good career, right? But he described himself as not being at his elite top level. Like, what was it?
I know, right? That time I think I was about 26, 27, graduated from college, helping my mom, having my own struggles. My parents had just divorced at that time. They're always been in the business of the food industry.
Okay.
And I decided to put my career on hold to help my mom. They separated, and then she says, this is what I know how to do, so I'll open a restaurant. Back then I was working at a newspaper, La Opinion, because I went to school for PR and journalism.
Wow. Opinion
And-
is still around, huh?
Yeah, it's still around. So I quit my job and I said family first, my mom first. So how things happen, right? So I'm like, I'm telling all my friends, okay, I'm going to put a hold on my career, what I want to do. And I'm going back to old Chino Hills,
Wow.
So I came back home here in Chino Hills, held my mom, which I could see it from the window here. So cute that we're doing this.
That's awesome.
And one day this chubby guy shows up. He had a spark. And I had a boyfriend at that time. I was engaged at that time.
Oh,
You
snap.
want some juice?
Yes,
snap.
that is
A very
alright.
tall gringo, green eyes, blonde hair.
Wow, like the prince or something.
White boy, yeah, he looked like a prince.
No. But
Not really.
so I think you're saying as a perspective, how can I tell you what I really wanted a real relationship? I'm not a shallow person that it has to be like, you have to be perfect. I never looked, I know ladies or at that time, young girls were like, oh, I need a super rich man and he has it all get together. I just wanted a hustler that I knew that no matter what, together, we're going to be okay. Because I'm looking for the whole 360. I'm not looking for someone to just provide and treat me like a trophy girl. No, I want somebody to listen to me and respect me,
Yeah.
and to be a team. I want somebody to be a good father, someone that has the same values as I did, or family, or our, at that time it was our parents, right? How they treat their parents, their siblings, and we are so aligned with all that stuff. I've never been into drugs or partying. I was a nerd in school. I'm bubbly and I like to dance.
Yeah.
But I saw more. I guess I saw what he didn't see in himself. He was lost, and I was willing to say like, this is a good flip. This is a good investment.
Hey,
Fixer upper.
best flip, huh? Best flip you've done.
And you know
Best
what?
flip.
He has that in him. You know, I had to be strong. We don't have that much time, but I did have to be strong as a woman, and I didn't know all of his struggles. I knew he drank and party. But then I say, hey, listen, if this is your lifestyle, now that I know, I'm out. I'm not going to go through this. So I think he took me serious because he knows, like, okay, she means business.
Yeah.
And he says, like, oh, you were my little angel. No, I was just like, no, this is not what we're doing.
I think that's so cool. Like when we're able to, and we can relate this to like business partners even, right? As well as like, not just like relationships, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, but also business. Like there's certain, you mentioned something that was really important, which was core values. Core values and principles, I think, should be the foundation of whenever you do things together, whether it be, you know, a business, a relationship, an investment with a separate company. Like, I think that's something that's really big. Like, I know Armando and I talk about that all the time, is like setting core principles and values, because when it comes to making those tough decisions, and you stick to those core values, like you could immediately go to that. Talk a little bit about like core values that you guys have established and like principles and stuff like that, and how important that is building a business and a family.
And how important it is, you know, and I would like you to say something too, but our faith. At that time, I think both of us did not know how deep we were into our faith. Yeah. But we were so aligned. So at that time, when Christian was seeking for help, he says I was, but I know it was God. He got super close and he started going to church. He was like, hey, let's go to church. We started going together. And he surrendered, I surrender. You know, I was just like, you know what, God, guide me. I think I don't know what I'm doing. You know, as a girl, 27, you have so many choices, so many options. And I was just like, yeah, I did have options. So then I was like, and I was just, I surrender.
How many options did you have?
Oh, you know, I had options. You know, send me flowers at the office. Yeah. But I said, you know, I'm looking for that family that I always wanted to have, that it's not just like, hey, it's either money or a good family. I want it all. And I want my freedom too. I want people to respect me that way. So I surrendered and I said, you guide me. If it's him, if it's not him, just guide me through the process. And I know he did it at a similar time, and I think that was huge for us.
And just know that, you know, we actually started working together. So there was a whole thing that happened, right? She was working with her mom. They owned the restaurant. They sold the restaurant. Then she says, I'm going to get my license. And, you know, back then we were a top team. You know, I was already doing a lot of business. We were doing very well, but I was just spending all my money, right? Partying and on drugs and stuff. So, but then she goes, hey, I want to get my license. Can I come work with you? I'm like, sure, coming over. Her boyfriend was also in real estate, but she chose to work with us, right? And then we started working together, and we just became best friends. Like, literally, she knew everything about me. She knew all the bad stuff, except, like, I was, you know, maybe super, super wild, but she knew I was a player. She knew I was, like, partying a lot, drinking a lot. And then she just became my best friend. And then I knew a lot about her, too. She would tell me everything about her. I met some of her boyfriends and some of her dates.
Okay.
We'll
get flowers at the office, right?
She will get flowers, and, you know, we'll go to events. She'll bring her date. And
did you have like a crush on her though? Because you said you were friends.
Just friends. Like,
I had a crush, but I just never thought she was gonna, you know,
just be
go after me. And then suddenly became a friendship. And then I would make fun of her guys, and she was, I mean,
or me, the way I will act with them, right?
Yeah, so she would be fake. You know, I saw this
the
other day.
the
other day. I saw if you went on a date with a girl with a tortilla with tacos, right, with the meat, just eating it like that, plain. Would you ever go out with her again, right? And I thought of Jeanette. I actually sent you that.
Oh my gosh, that happened to us.
Because it happened. Because we go to a party and they had tacos there, and she came with her date, and it was a white guy. He was a
Okay.
good-looking guy, right?
He was Italian, by the way.
Italian, okay, whatever. So then she's like,
Doesn't matter.
she gets her tacos, right? And she sits in the table. I swear to you, she only puts like 2 tacos.
And I
with
love tacos, by the way.
nothing on it. Nothing
plain.
on
And I
it.
love
Just
tacos.
tortilla and meat.
No salsa.
No salsa, no cilantro, no cebolla.
She didn't want it in her
lemon,
teeth,
no
bro.
lemon.
She didn't want it in her teeth, bro.
And then I see her and I just started laughing. I was like, oh my God.
Man.
And she's like,
Yeah.
like, don't.
I
And
just
I'm
felt
like,
somebody looking at me laughing,
laughing.
and I'm like this with my plain taco.
Oh man.
And then I see this guy laughing, and I was like,
Like, what do you
away.
want? Go away. Stop bugging me.
We would go, to appointments, and we were friends. And I knew how she ate. I mean,
Yeah.
she loves to eat. She puts freaking like cebolla, like she puts so much onion, like you
You guys feel
smell
so
it.
comfortable with each other. Like you guys are just cool like that.
love
Yeah,
Yes.
and everything. So I think you have to be yourself and
no
be real.
makeup at the office because he's just my
No makeup.
office.
He saw you organic.
Yes.
Just
Super casual always, and so then I think that the friendship became strong, and then we at one point we're like, oh shoot, I really like her, and I think she was thinking the same, and next thing you know, we're
Now though,
Yes.
So
this is where it's gonna get juicy though.
we're gonna
Now-
get juicy. We're gonna get juicy. But what I love is it like faith was a foundation.
Yes.
Like core values and principles was a foundation. Building friendship. I think that's something that's really important. Foundations of building with your significant other, Armando.
And I think that's a good way for us to now they're talking about, okay, now we're working together. Now we're in the office. Now we're eating about tacos. We're eating, seeing
Christian's making fun of Jeanette.
it's kind of like,
You know?
all right, now they're together at work. Now it's like, all right, now the dynamics at work, how did you guys play around those parts? And that's what we're going to talk about on the second episode. So guys, if you guys really like the stories so far we've been hearing from Christian and Jeanette, stay tuned for the second episode, because now it's like, now we're working together. Now it's going to get really good.
Now
it's more than just
the
tacos.
flirting
Now
comes into
now
place,
it's-
I'm sure.
Now we're talking about the whole enchilada. So guys, stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you share this with a friend, you
I
guys.
closed the deal basically. Stay tuned.
I like that.